In this lesson I'm going to show you how to create a graph similar to this one. As you can see, it's a little bit more complicated than the previous graphs that we've been doing, as it has two columns per data down here. So in January we have two separate items of data that we wanted to show, and because of this we need to have a legend in this one, because there are two different colours and we need to show on the chart what those colours represent. So in this lesson I'm going to show you how to select the data for all of the different items that you need to represent, and how to then show this on your legend here. Right, so if we go to our task, so we've been given this task and we've been asked to first of all enter a formula to find the total sales, then add a formula to calculate the average sales per month, then add a formula to calculate the highest sales per month. Then it would like us to create a chart to show the employees' sales for March and May only, and then it's asking us to create another chart to show the average sales and the highest sales per month. So there's quite a lot to do there, but as usual, first of all we will enhance our spreadsheet as always. So I'm going to pop some bold headings in, centre align them, again bold, centre align. I'm going to put a nice background fill on here with blue, and we're ready to go. So the first task is to enter a formula to find the total sales. We've done this in a previous task, so total sales per employee would be all of their months added together. So in this cell here in G4 I'm going to type equals sum, because sum is the function that we use to add a list of numbers up. Then I'm going to select the range, that's the range of numbers that we want Excel to add up for us. Close the brackets and enter. And so that we don't have to do each one individually, again we're going to grab the black square in the corner and autofill the formula to all of the other employees. The second task is add a suitable formula to calculate the average sales per month. So the average sales per month would be the average of all of these, or all of these, added up, so we can then get the average. So in the appropriate place for this would be below the list. So we're going to type equals average, because that's the correct formula to find the mean average. Select our range, close the brackets and enter. And that's found the average sales for January. The question has asked us to replicate for each month, so again we click in the cell, grab the black square and drag across, and that will autofill the average formula into each of those cells. The next task for us is to find a suitable formula to calculate the highest sales per month. So again, this is per month, so it's columns rather than per person, which would be the rows. So per month you need to pop it here. So the average sales, the highest sales per month, sorry, how would we find that? So the highest sales would indicate that we want to find the cell with the largest number, because that would indicate the person with the highest sales. So we're going to use the max function, because max finds the highest number in a range. So if we select equals max and then select the range, so a quick glance at this does show that we can see 512 would probably be the highest in this very short range. So we're looking for 512 to come into the box, and it has. So 512 is the highest sales for that month. So again we replicate that by dragging it across, and there we have our new data that's been added to our spreadsheet. Now at the moment this data is just floating around in no man's land round here, and is not connected to our beautifully enhanced data here. So we need to add some headings to explain to the viewer what these numbers represent. So in this one I'm going to add total sales, because this column represents total sales. I'm just going to click there to expand so we get the full words in. We don't want any words chopped off. You will lose marks in your exam if the spreadsheet looks like that and it's chopped off. So click and double click, and that will make the column the correct size. Right, so this row here is our average sales, so we're going to put average in there, and this one is the highest, so we're going to put the highest in there. As these are, this one is automatically changed to follow the example of these. However, these headings down here have nothing to go on, and they've nothing to tell them how they should look, so we're going to change them now to match all of the other headings. Headings should all match, they should all be the same, so we're going to make them bold. I'm going to pop the blue in. I think we'll pop that one blue as well, make them all the same. So now we've got average and highest, they're bold, they're the same alignment as the rest of these, and the only thing now we need to do is add the borders to make it match up. So we'll just do this bit here because we don't want these two cells here to become to have borders on them. They're not part of the chart, so we're just going to go to that bit first, and then we're just going to do to there and click there, and now we have our chart all beautifully formatted, and we know where the headings are. We know that this is the average line, the highest, and these are the total sales. So now we have all the data and we're ready to do the first chart. So the first chart wants us to show employee sales for March and May only. So once again, we have to look at the task in order to work out which parts of this data we have to put into our chart. So we want employee sales for March and May. So we're going to go for employee, press control down and keep fingers on. We want this just the sales, so we don't want all the way down here because these are the averages. We just want the sales. So March and then May. So we've clicked, as per the task it says show each other employees. Yeah, we've got the employees. March sales, yes. May sales, yes. So now we can go to insert our chart, and there we have our nice chart. And as you can see, it has the names along the bottom, and this one is the average and this one is the highest. Oh, it might be the other way around. Right, so if we look at Rashid, March and, sorry, this is March and May. So one of these is March, one of these is May. Well, March was lower, so we know that blue is March. So now we have to do all of the extra little bits, put the data labels on, etc., so that the reader knows what this chart actually means, and so that we can gain as many marks as possible in our exam. So first of all, we're going to insert the chart title. Now, as discussed before in the previous video, you might be able to find your chart title on the drop down list from the green cross in the corner of your chart. This is because you have a newer version of Excel than I do, so mine are up here on the ribbon. In college you'll find that you'll have this green cross here, so if you click that, drop down, you'll be able to tick which particular one of these you would like. I'm going to enter my chart title. I'm going to go from the questions, so I'm going to go employee sales in March and May. So that's the title done. So now we have to put the axis labels on, or axis titles. So I'm going to put the horizontal one in and the vertical one in. As discussed on the previous video, if you've got the green cross in the corner and you click axis titles, the axis titles will be placed in for you both in one go. Unfortunately on mine I have to do them individually, but basically want both of these on here by the end of what you've been doing. So we're going to name this employee because this axis is showing the employees and this one is sales. And so now we have our title, we have our axis labels, the only thing left to sort out is the legend. Now, as discussed before, we do need a legend because we have two different colours, so we have to explain what the blue column represents and what the red column represents. And we do this through this Series 1 and Series 2. We have to rename these so that we can explain what they are, what they represent. So if we go to Design, select Data, and you can see the Series 1 and Series 2 here. Now we want to edit these words, so we're going to click Edit. And this one is Series 1. Well, Series 1 we know is blue, so that represents March. So we're going to type March. Click OK. And as you can see, it's changed from Series 1 to March because we've renamed it. So now we click Series 2 and Edit. And this one represents the May sales, so we're going to call it May. Click OK, and then OK. And as you can see now, our legend has changed. So the blue represents March sales and the red pink represents May sales. So we've completed everything on our chart now. Everything is explained. We've given a title to say what it is. We've given axis labels to explain what this data represents and what this horizontal data represents. And we've also explained what the blue and the red mean. They mean March and May. So the only thing left to do now is to move the chart, and it's requesting the chart to go on a new worksheet called March May. So we're going to click new worksheet, and then we're going to rename it March May as requested, and there it is. So we have a new worksheet named March May, as you can see down at the bottom on the tabs, and our beautiful graph is now clear and can be seen and removed from the data sheet. So all that remains now is to insert a header and footer into this with our name, custom header. In the exam you will be expected to put your candidate number and centre number in here, so you will be putting those in the middle and the right section here. Until then, just put your name. So click OK and OK, and that's our name on that task. So the next task is asking us to create a chart or a graph to show the average sales and the highest sales per month. So for this data, it's a average sales and highest sales per month. So we need the months. So we select the months, press Control so that we can keep that selected, and we want then the average sales and the highest sales, which are these two here. So we're going to press that one and that one. So that's selected the months, average and highest as it says in the task. So then we go to enter our column, chart, and there is our chart. So the blue will be the average sales and the red will be the highest sales. So once again we're going to add our title. So we go to layout, chart title, just deleted it all there by mistake. Right, so we insert the chart title above the chart, and then we say chart to show average and highest sales per month. Next we need to add our axis titles. I'm going to have to click twice, as I've mentioned before, but you would just click the ones from the green cross on the side of your chart. So then we change the title. So this one is still month, and this one is still sales. So we need to adjust these Series 1 and Series 2 to show that blue represents the average sales and red represents the highest sales. So again, we go to design, select data. Here are our series, so we edit series 1. So series 1 is the average sales, okay, and series 2 is the highest sales. So that now explains what the red and the blue mean. Okay, so we have everything on our chart that we need. We have the title, we have the axis labels explaining what these represent, and we have our legend explaining what the two colours represent. So all we need to do now is move our chart, and we've been requested to move it to another worksheet named Average High. So that's what we will do. We'll click New Worksheet, Average High. It's important in the exam that when you're asked to type anything in, you type it exactly as it states in the exam paper. Don't be tempted to not put capitals or put spaces in between words. Type it exactly as it says. If you don't type it exactly, you will lose marks, and we don't want that to happen. So type it, copy it exactly from the question. So click OK. And so there we have, just get rid of that. There we have our chart, Average High, and it shows the title, the sales, and the month axis labels, and our amended legend. So that's how you create a chart with multiple datas on, and how you select the data, only the data that you need for each chart, and then how you change the legend so that you can inform the audience what each of the colours represents. So now I would like you to work through the tasks in your folder. As usual, if you wish to look back on this video to help you, you can, and as always, if you want to ask your tutor, please do. Good luck!